So some things that might tie in loosely or directly to cryptid and dogman and Lemurian like lore, cryptid lore from especially like Michigan and Land Between the Lakes is in Kentucky, but like the the north part of the country before the Midwest, like that area, because Chicago is considered the Midwest. I think Kentucky is still in is it's like the end of the Midwest. Tennessee and Kentucky is still, believe it or not, part of the Midwest. I think people think of it as the South. But anyway, these Wabanzi stones were brought over by Phoenicians to Chicago hundreds and hundreds of years ago. They were there was one that was in Chicago that people were using as a drinking faucet until they realized that it was a altar for child sacrifice. Now, in the Bible, the sons of God came down and found that man's wives were fair, and he took wives from humans, which he wasn't supposed to, and they lost their divine connection to heaven, and they took on more of man's traits. So they were condemned, and they were told that they were going to die like men. Now they don't have a soul, so they don't go anywhere. They just maybe try to find a different body, and maybe like military necromancers can help them with that, or something. Military industrial complex with some high-tech shamanism, right? It's just, this is not saying that this is facts. But this is for the like fuel the imagination, creative imagination, because enough of these things tied in that it's like, like sometimes you can, there's correlations in things that are like subconscious, and like Lemuria is supposed to be the subconscious. Atlantis is like subconscious, right? And it's a ancient Greek word for the soul. Atalanta is the soul. And then there's like myths or beliefs about there being Atlantean like Egyptian and pre-Nubian Atlantean civilizations in like the Grand Canyon, like places in the United States. So there's a lot of history going on that we just have no idea. People don't even know the Phoenicians came to Chicago. The Romans came there too. That's why Michigan is a Roman word, and Michoacan in Mexico has the Romans went south to Mexico and established Michoacan. Like so they were like a detachment of Roman legion that were separated and found like a different, like a, like it's like they lost the providence that they came with, and they found it again as like a different culture, right? But like, so Lemurians, Dogman, reptilians, Nephilim, all tied together in some ways. The people even think that Dogman is a type of Nephilim or a type of inversion of Anubis. They make the air alkaline. They make it feel like there's a electromagnetic feeling to the air, just like right before it rains, like alkaloid. And that's because they come through a portal from purgatory, where everything's a monster. Or like things like our subconscious, like the Amenta, or like perdition, that we don't know. We don't really know this, but it's like, it's part of your creative imagination, can, like, the subconscious and the creative imagination. So like I don't want to say like these things they're definitely gonna find like Dogman in the Land Between the Lakes or something, but if it's true about the Bible being that those giants, and this Wabanzi stone thing's supposed to be the burial chamber of giants, but the Discovery Channel was different. They were talking about Phoenicians, and it was a cult that was doing human child sacrifices. And what happened in the Bible was that the people were sacrificing their children to the sons of God, which was like, they were like giants. And it's funny that these are Phoenician, because Phoenician is Canaanites. Phoenicians are the Canaanites. And Canaanite sounds like, what, canine, right? So, I don't know if I want to watch this, actually. Because this is like nothing, probably going to be nothing like what was on the Discovery Channel, which was, you know, more credible, taken seriously, as in like they're a little bit, they're have a little bit of namesake on the line, so they wouldn't just want to put out a whole mess of conspiracies off the top of the dome like I'm doing, right? I wonder if there's anything. See, this is like, I don't even know any of this. I should look up the Discovery Channel to see what they're talking about.
And this is another one.
Because this is just some guy talking like me, rapping. He could make up anything.
Histories of Ancient America, Uncovering the Forbidden by Fritz Zimmerman. And we're going to go to this part of the book where it's talking about the Wabansi Celtic monolith.
Celtic?
There's a little image right here.
He says Celtic.
I just want to
wait a minute. Is everybody going to tell me it's somebody else? Phoenicians, Canaanite, then Celtic. Phoenicians made better boats. I don't know about if Celtic, like, I don't know about this Celtic shit. Let me find the Discovery Channel. They didn't say nothing about nothing like that. I think that people want to make their own. And I'm telling you, this is creative imagination, feeding the creative imagination. I'm not telling you anything like facts, you know. Just interesting, and I also want to contribute to the lore because I like Dogman. Anyways, I like believing in Dogman because you get scared. And just Discovery Channel, fuck. This is not made by man. It's not this. Is that beyond Discovery? Is it? No. Stone blocks that cannot be explained. But then they did explain them. So what are they talking about? Anyway, screw it. You make up your own connection if you want to. I really should show you a video that shows what I'm talking about, but it was like I just looked them up now, and it's been a long time. But now there's all this other stuff. I'm not saying that the Discovery Channel is the right or the only version, but I don't even see anything in it. Fuck, I can't find it. And I don't know. I just don't want to open up a whole different video because people take shit to be like it's this way, and if you're going to say otherwise, then you have to fight me for it or something. Like, no, I'm not that serious, man. It's just like the things that are primary source is just the existence of the Wabansi stone, and the fact that it was used as a drinking fountain, and the fact that they found evidence that it was used as for sacrifices, because of, you know, like there's markings that look like they were repeated the same activity, and they could only have been. And it's a trip about where we think these biblical stories actually took place. It's just for granted that it's not going to be on the continent of America, right? But why would the sons of God be stricken to like only like, I don't know, Samaria? Like a lot of these tribes and all around the world have like some kind of like knowledge of the Sumerians for some reason. And this like Blavatsky, she got basically taught by Pascal Beverly Randolph all this stuff. And then she went to like Mount Shasta and set up this like Lemurian Mystery Society or something. Pascal Beverly Randolph talked about things like the noble arts and something like called decretism, which came after Valentia and before Poisism, which was in the steps of curing post-traumatic stress. He started out with the color wheels, and the Valentia is like when you're playing with the associations of different feelings that you have to different colors, putting them on a wheel and spinning them, and then looking at a mirror, then reordering them and spinning it again, and you look at the wheel and then you look at the mirror until you reflection seems to come on and question yourself. And then after that you would go into this state of like seeing shadow creatures like moving, like shadows would get up and walk like separate from the, like they wouldn't have like anyone casting them, right? Basically they're like, I don't know, a rake or something, like those cryptids called rakes. It seems like he's describing something like rakes, like they have small winds and tall winds, and like you're talking about shadow creatures just getting up and moving. And then the last part is poisism, where you're supposed to be able to command a fruitless tree to shrivel up and die. I don't know. So, but anyways, like he helped what's it called? Abraham Lincoln become president from tackling the spiritual aspect of like the subconscious, and like as far as like resonating with people. Then they were, they did like a lot of like seance stuff, and like they were like into like some mysticism stuff. And these places that they go to, they like Blavatsky would pick places with strong ether, and maybe they're talking about that alkaloid or something in the air that is like conducive to their like type of, like, I don't know, it was like deist, no, they weren't deist, what was that shit? Ether. The veil. Oh yeah, because they were interested in where the veil could be lifted, or where the veil might be pierced. Okay? Which, I mean, that means it can't mean as much to me. I don't have any background to even know what am I even talking about? Like, like I don't know about this stuff. And dang veil and like opening up portals and shit. I mean, you can debunk and this stuff all get debunked and everything, but a lot of it leads to just creative imagination and it ties together. And then there's this story and there's these things that are real, and it ties all the way back to the Bible. Like, where's this fucking video? I don't see it. I don't see anything Discovery Channel in here anymore. Not like they get a pass. All right.